I'll seek you out, flay you alive.
Hey guys, Pogo here, and welcome to the next episode of Bukkit Coding. As requested by one of my subscribers, I'm going to show you how to make disco armor, which is basically leather armor that changes color so that it kind of looks like a disco ball, I suppose. Basically what's going to happen is, for everyone to whom this should be applied, if you're wearing a leather helmet, then it will change the color of that every second, and same for each of the four different pieces of armor. So to start out, I have this project here, and I have this quick little method that basically returns a new item stack with the specific color. There's nothing exciting here. All I'm doing is creating an item stack with the given material, which would be, leather helmet, leather chestplate, leather leggings, or leather boots. Then I get the leather armor meta, which is a special version of the item meta for leather armor. I'm setting the color to whatever I give it, and then I'm returning that item. So, not terribly important, but we are going to need that. So what we're going to do is, inside of the onEnable, we're just going to have one repeating task that continues and handles all of the players. For this, I'm going to do it for every single player that's online, but you could, have an array list of players or an array list of players' names and do it, or you could have the loop check to see if the player has a permission, or however you want to go about doing it. So, if you want to only apply it to specific people, that is an option. But we're just going to go ahead and apply it to everyone that is online. So we're going to say bucket.getServer.getScheduler, and we're going to schedule a sync repeating task. Plugin is this. We're going to go ahead and make a new runnable. The first long can be 0. That's just, I think, the initial delay. The second one is the number of ticks in between. 20 is 1 second, so every 1 second it'll change color. You could make it more frequent if you wanted it to change faster, which would, I guess, result in more lag, especially if you have a big server. And we're going to go ahead and do our public void run. Now, inside of here, we're also going to quickly declare a private random r is equal to new random, because we're going to be using the random to basically randomly generate a color each 1 second. It'll pick a random color to use, and rather than define a new random every single second, we can have one random that we use over and over again. So inside of the run, the first thing that we're going to do is define a color, and Bukkit for this uses the org.bukkit.color. This is not the color inside of the horse class. This is not the java.awt.color. This is Bukkit's color. If you take a look at color, you'll see that there are a bunch of predefined colors, and then there's also a method. There are methods for getting a color given RGB or BGR. So there's no values method, so you can't easily iterate over all of these predefined values. So we're just going to have the random generate a random red, a random green, and a random blue. And all these are just going to be r.nextInt, and the parameter is going to be 255. That will generate a random number between 0, I believe, and 255, which is 255 is the largest number that an RGB value could be. So we're just getting a random color, and this is going to change every 1 second. Every time this is called, it's going to get a new color, and of course we need to store that. So color C is equal to color.fromRGB. Okay. The next thing that we need to do is we're going to say for player P in bucket.getServer.getOnlinePlayers. Now this is where you could change it to use an array list or something else, but in this case, again, we're just doing it for all of the online players. Then we need to go ahead and do a check, and we're essentially just going to have to do this 4 times. So we're going to say if p.getInventory inventory.get, and then we'll just do get helmet is not equal to null. So if they do actually have a helmet, and that helmet, and we're saying get type is equal to material.leather helmet. So if they have like an iron helmet, you obviously can't color that. You can only color leather. So first of all, if they're not, this applies, so as long as you're wearing a leather helmet, then it'll change the color of it. So if you're not wearing a helmet, then of course it won't change the color of whatever helmet you're wearing. And then it will, if the type is not a leather helmet, but if they're wearing, some kind of a block or a different type of helmet, then that would give us an error if we didn't do the check. So if it passes both of these things, we're just going to go ahead and say p.set inventory, or sorry, set helmet. Oh, sorry, p.get inventory.set helmet to be get color armor given material.leather helmet, and C. Now you could define, like you could store the player's inventory as, a variable, so you don't have to keep typing p.get inventory. You could also store this helmet, outside of the loop if you wanted, which could speed it up a little bit. I'm not going to do it just for time's sake, but you obviously could. Now let's go ahead and copy this a few more times. And we're just basically going to change, and I'll just go ahead and space this out to make it easier to read. Alright. So next is going to be, what's after that? Get chest plate. And get chest plate, and this is going to be a leather chest plate, and then we're going to set chest plate to be, and then this is going to be leather chest plate, and then I'm going to pause the video while I do this for everything. That's just all we needed to do. Set helmet, or we do helmet, chest plate, leggings, and boots. And it's pretty much the same thing, because we need to check for each of the items. Actually, now that I think about it, there is a method that gets the, all of the inventory, or all of the armor contents. I think it's like get armor contents, and it probably would be easier to loop through that. I just thought of it now, so I'm not going to do it, but you could loop through all of the items in the get armor contents method, and that might actually work a little bit easier. But this should work fine, so let's go ahead and export it, and let's go ahead and start up a server. I already have Minecraft open. Just gotta let it start up. Alright. So let's go ahead and join in. And as you can see, I was already wearing a leather hat, and it is changing colors every second. I'll just go ahead and grab the rest of this stuff. So I need that, and that, and that. No, that. And now let's go ahead and stick it in the inventory. And, okay, does not seem to be changing any of that. So let me just go ahead and reload. Oh, that was silly. I made these else ifs. That was a mistake. They're all separate ifs because, if the helmet works, then they're separate, and those just should not have been else ifs. That's the problem. So now if we go ahead and reload, you'll see that the armor and all of the armor changes color every second. It changes to the same color. You could make it different for each piece of armor if you, generated a new color. You could also make it different for each person if you generated a color right inside of the loop, right here. If you generated the color in there, it would be different for each player. But in this case, any player to whom this would apply would have the same color for all of their armor. And as you can see, it is working. Let's go ahead and see if we can make it look a little bit cooler. Now this I would not recommend. It's going to do it 20 times per second, which could lag out the server, especially if you have more than one person, but that's actually pretty cool. So that about 20 times per second, it is changing those colors, and if you just look at it there, that's pretty neat. So that is all for this video. We made disco armor, or armor that quickly changes color to kind of appear like a disco ball. This was a request that I fulfilled, and if you guys have any requests, always make sure to let me know, because I'm happy to include them, especially since we've already covered a lot of the basics, so there's not too much of the core stuff, and it's more applying it to make cool things. As always, subscribe if you want to see more, comment with what you want to learn. If you like this video, click the like button, and I'll see you guys soon with the next video. Bye, guys.